Hello, good afternoon. It's a Friday. Indeed, today happens to be the last Friday in the month of June. And all too soon, the first half of the year is actually gravitating to a halt. My name is Pakwesi Shandoff, and welcome to another exciting edition of The State here on Wesleyan Television. This afternoon promises to serve you another very important conversation on the train of public discourse. We take a breather. When we come back, I'll tell you what we're about to, as it were, dissect this afternoon. Introduce my guest, and we get into the gravamen. Don't go anywhere.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known.
Ago, Ghana for Mama Dadon yo, me the dear Janava. Dedo spices are wood running in every Jackson. And you never know, yeah.
If we come your job, we no use dead spices. We no go job. If I don't
Taste the inside. Yeah, the natural spices, Papa na yeah.
The way you go, dead spices.
Just the
Dead spices.
Black, tasting like chicken.
Kaji, go. But dead spices here, what Jenny say, nanya good taste. If we say, yeah, the natural spices and yeah, you're gonna hey yo. Annie, you want all purpose, stew, noodles, curry and nutmeg, and a jollof. Dead spices, taste yummy, taste lemon. Dead spices, taste gay inside. FDIG, a jedi in Kratoya.
Sorry, not sure.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Get ready for a transformational morning experience.
Sorena Shrine is here to build our spirituality, mental and physical well-being.
Through positive, inspiring actions and stories.
We bring you exciting activities and conversations that develop us as a people and as a nation.
We take a look at the trending issues in Ghana and the rest of the world.
And we also review the impacting stories from our local newspapers.
Every morning, we bring you stories of hope, change, and renewal.
We empower you through the Word of God and provoke you to live the purposeful life destined for you.
Join us, Anita Kwaku
and the Reverend 𝗟𝗓𝐕 𝐊𝐚𝐬𝐞ɛ𝐛ɔ, Monday to Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we take you on an inspiring journey, live and exclusively on WTV.
You may also join us on Facebook at WTV Ghana and on YouTube at Wesleyan TV Ghana.
Sorry, not Shrine.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Sorena Shrine is brought to you by
Danwell Insurance, Multi-Credit Savings and Loans,
and the Methodist University Ghana.
All right, thanks for your patience and God bless you for staying with us. I'm inclined to say God bless you because don't forget that this is predominantly a Christian channel and therefore the virtues of Christianity on any given day will animate how we even do our productions and every other thing we do here. That is the main reason we do not also amplify or fan the political, if you like, messages or narratives of any political establishments. Indeed, we discuss political issues as much, but we are not partisan, and it's important for me to state this afternoon. The State here on Wesleyan TV, as always, is brought to you by the Christian Service University. They maintain that at every given time, they are the leading name where tertiary education is concerned. Now, let's get to W Briefs this afternoon. And for those of you who may be watching for the very first time, this part of the show is where we normally attempt to give our viewers an executive brief or, if you like, an inkling into the subjects that we have itemized for the day's conversation. Now, taxes. Let's talk about taxation in general because we've heard it. I mean, everybody here in Ghana has heard it at a point or time, at a point or two in time. I mean, we've all heard about taxes before, and really, it's one of government's ways of generating revenue. I'm inclined to even conclude that in a country like Ghana, that is the primary source of income or revenue, I should say, for the government. And so anytime government wants to, as it were, rake in some funds to execute projects or, if you like, attend to existing expenditure, taxes is one of the means that the government would readily resort to. But it is not every tax proposition that meets, if you like, the desire of the populace. It's not every one of them that finds favor with those who have to pay. This afternoon, there is a group. They refer to themselves as the, is it Plastic Manufacturers Association of Ghana? I think I have that one accurately. They are sensing that government wants to roll out a tax mechanism. They are not comfortable with it, and therefore they have expressed their revulsion and reservations in that particular respect. Indeed, they staged a press conference not long ago, and they expressed their revulsion remarkably that, look, we are in dire economic straits. The economy is in doldrums. Cost of production already is high, and so there is no need for government to proceed with such a move. This afternoon, we are privileged to be speaking to the president of that association. In the next 30 seconds, he'll be in the seat and we'll get into the meat of the discussion. So basically, we are discussing the tax on plastics. That's how I have chosen to caption it this afternoon. We'll take a breather. When we come back, the substance, the gravamen, and the cracks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. right, thanks for your patience. It's now time for us to get into the substance and the meat of this afternoon's discussion. In case you missed the executive summary a while ago, I was indicating briefly that this afternoon's conversation borders on government's plans to roll out a tax regime, a tax imposition that basically is going to affect plastic manufacturers across the country. The stakeholders or the industry players are not happy with the move. They've expressed their revulsion and they've articulated their grievances in that particular respect. And thankfully, we have in our company this afternoon the president of the association, Mr. 𝗟𝗓𝗘, who is ready and willing to engage us more on the subject matter. Mr. 𝗟𝗓𝗘, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Christian. Thank you for having me.
Right, it's a pleasure to have you. This is just on a very light note. I realized that the spelling of your name, the Ebo, is a double B.
It's a double B.
I've not seen it anywhere before.
Well, that's a typical Fanti Kipkus
okay.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Fantis are always funny when it comes to spelling of names. Yeah.
So are we safe to say that we can distinguish that from, or we distinct that from the EBO, the ordinary EBO?
Yes, so EBBO is 1 in a million.
Okay, all right. So that's Mr. 𝗟𝗓𝗘, is the president of the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association. I've read your press statement and I have an understanding of your concerns generally, but I mean, we developed the country through the instrumentality of taxes. If taxes are not imposed, government may not be able to come by revenue. So if government wants to tap into all the monies you make, all the profits you accumulate as a way of shoring up, if you like, the state funds to accelerate development, why should you be agitated under the circumstances?
Because every country, Ghana no exception, will have to depend on taxes.
Right.
Taxes are supposed to be the lifeblood of any country. But then when the tax becomes obnoxious, it becomes poisonous. In fact, in today's Ghana, it is cheaper not to produce. It is cheaper not to manufacture. Manufacturing in Ghana today has become a debt trap. I don't think any investor, be it a Ghanaian or a foreigner, will come as a Father Christmas to come and play losses with his or her business. We are already burdened with a lot of taxes. Presently, in West Africa, not Ghana, probably the sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana comes tops when you talk about taxes. Our neighboring countries, Togo, Ivory Coast, to some extent, Burkina Faso, the cost of doing business in these countries are so low. It is sad to say that.
Are you able to repeat the countries? I just want to be sure. You mentioned
Togo, Ivory Coast, and then Burkina Faso. It is sad to state that we already have 2 companies, plastic companies, who have relocated to Ivory Coast. And they are doing very well.
Are you able to disclose their names for the...
At least one company which is very popular, everybody will know, is Pens and Plastics. Pens and Plastics is no more in Ghana.
In Ghana, right.
It's relocated to Abidjan.
Are they the producers of Big Pen?
Exactly.
I think so, yeah. I think
yes.
Right.
And they are exporting to Ghana. They never lost their client base. They just
relocated their production machinery.
Exactly. Because of cost of production, cost of taxes, stable CFA or stable currency. So doing business there is much better than Ghana. So if government is coming back top on top with more taxes, it is very sad. I think in the history of Ghana, the plastic manufacturers have never ever made such a statement, a damning statement, or had any intention to take to the streets. But we've gotten to a stage in a local parlance, we call it that if they are serving the food, they are sharing the food, you don't really talk about it, you end up getting bones.
Yeah.
That is what is happening to us now. We already have a tax called 10% environmental excise tax, which is at the port of entry. And this is put on selected plastic raw materials. For the past 12, 13 years, we've been paying, in fact, as we speak now, we are still paying that tax. And this tax has accumulated over 1.97 billion Ghana cedis.
For government?
For government. This money is in the consolidated fund. The footnote for this tax is that 50% should go into plastic recycling. Then the other remaining percent goes into its management, education, and etc.
Right.
Government for the past 13 years have never disbursed even one cedi, but we are collecting it. Today, we are still paying. And then government comes back again to us that there is now a 5% excise tax. These other one, the earlier one, is on selected materials. This is across board, all plastic materials. In plastic, we have two types. We have the rigid and then the flexible. If you talk about pollution, plastic pollution, it is more of the flexible plastics, some of them, that causes environmental pollution. You can't argue that if you take a polytank, it causes environmental hazard.
Absolutely not.
If you took plastic PVC pipe for building construction, that goes into the building for how many years?
Yes, I mean, it stays there, really.
You can't argue that it causes. Likewise, plastic furniture. Your 4-gallon or even your broken plastic chairs, you leave it around, these scrap dealers will just pick it up. You still want to put tax on it. The mattress foam that we sleep on is made out of plastic. If you talk about the shopping bags, the black carry bags, to some extent, the sachet water bags, yes, you are talking about pollution. You talk about the styrofoams, yes. But you can't come and then put the kind of such tax across board, that all plastics. So this is where government fought it. And government came up with this tax without consultation. We were never consulted. We just got phone calls and some communications coming from GRA asking us to register and start collecting. The other sad thing about this tax is that government says that it is a consumer tax. Consumer tax means that we, the manufacturers, should not even bother ourselves. We should just collect the money from Pakwesi, who comes to buy the plastic chair, and give it to government. Already, our eastern and western borders are so porous when it comes to smuggling of goods. So we have steep competition now because we have imports, cheap imports from China and other parts of Asia coming through Lomé Port. It's a free port, coming through Abidjan Port as well. Of course, these ports have the lowest tariffs as well. So people are able to go through there, bring the goods here. So we are already burdened with this competition. And to increase our products, finished products, by another 7%, it is not 5%. What happens is that we have what we call tax on tax. So yes, it is 5%, But when you would work this tax on your NHIS, your COVID levy, and then your GET fund, it comes out to 7%. So 7% is such a huge amount. Once we put on it, we are out of business. It's as good as we folding up and then probably getting into trade.
Is that not an exaggeration to say that you'll be out of business? Because I had equally seen a publication where your association was reported to have said that about 30,000 jobs may even be lost under the circumstances. Okay. How would this suddenly put you out of business? Because I'm thinking from a business perspective, if government should demand more from you, you only defray the cost to the consumer. Then at the end of the day, you are insulated in the process. So how is that going to close you out of business, really?
No, it all boils down to the purchasing power of the consumer.
Right.
Let me give an example. We have plastic companies based in Abidjan producing PVC pipes. Today, companies in Ghana, primarily in Accra Tema, producing PVC pipes, we cannot sell in Takoradi and other parts of the Western region. Reason being that because the borders are porous, those companies in Abidjan producing same products are able to bring it to Ghana and sell at a cheaper than us. So we are being pushed out. Almost all the plastic companies in Ghana, we are under capacity utilization now. We are not able to maximize our, and for every efficient plant, you must operate minimum 80% of your capacity. If you go below, you are making losses. So if we have 7%, is a lot. If government said there is a 0.5%, 0.5% as excise tax, we probably will not make too much noise.
And even that's a probability.
Yes. But to put 7, see, if you had a product which is selling for 100 cedis with the excise tax, it goes straight to 107 cedis. It's plus 7 cedis. And the Ghanaian consumer is so sensitive to price that even a peswa
is impactful.
Yes. So it's not a question of exaggeration. We have been tolerant, and we are almost out of business now. We can't. And it is good probably to say that we will shut down, because we used to have close to about...
Mr. Botry, not to cut you, but isn't the indication of a shutdown too hasty, if you like? So first off, you've indicated clearly that there were no proper prior consultations before the onslaught of this tax mechanism. I agree. Okay, if that didn't happen, we can all agree that maybe there was a lapse in judgment. But now, wouldn't you want to rather go back to the table, I mean, sit with the relevant parties and have a thorough conversation? When we hear, shutdowns, when we hear that, okay, you're going to stop producing, when we hear other, if you like, radical propositions, is it not too hasty? Can't we be measured?
It is. We wrote, when this issue came up, we wrote to the finance minister on the 24th of April. We are 2 months down the line. That's about 8 weeks. We have the patience to wait. We understand that in the last month or so, the finance minister has been traveling a lot. We see it in the news. So we have the patience to wait. If it means even 1 year, we have the patience to wait.
So why are you not waiting?
But then, yes, last Monday, the Commissioner General and the GRA officials started sending us demand notices, messages, asking us to start filing.
Pause your thoughts briefly. What was the content of the earlier letter, 24th April? Was it an invitation to discuss the matter?
No, we wrote to the minister,
right?
Expressing displeasure about this tax and wanted to have an engagement with the minister. So that was it, and
there was no response.
So we understood that the minister had referred the letter to the Revenue Policy Unit for advice. And the advice had gone back to the minister's table. But the minister is out of town. So we have to wait for minister to come to whatever it is.
So effectively, from the 24th of April, when you first submitted a letter wanting to engage the minister up till date, you have not received any substantive feedback, so to speak.
Exactly.
Okay. However, GRA is now making demands.
Yes, demands that we need to file from 21st of June. That was last Friday. If we don't, then they will enter our premises, give an assessment, give us a bill, plus penalties to pay. So then what's the point in keeping quiet?
Exactly.
So we had to also come out to the...
because clearly then you've explored the option of diplomacy already.
Exactly.
But no results yet.
Exactly. And we understand that there is some results on the way, but minister has to come and then sanction it. So...
what result do you understand is on the way, by the way?
Well, I'm not sure I'll be able to...
disclose it?
Exactly. So, we, like I said, we have the patience to wait, patiently waiting for the minister to come. And then GRA start harassing us. So we had to come out to say that, please, GRA, stop harassing us. And at this stage, Finance Ministry, we humbly also ask you to respond to our letter within the next 1 week. Other than that, we will have to shut down. When we shut down, workers have to go home. And combined, direct, as in workers in our various plants put together, it's over 30,000. And we have a kind of an allied industries without us that cannot operate. The sachet sachet and bottle water, without the plastic, they can't do anything. Water cannot be packed in paper. The recycling sector as well. Yesterday evening, I was on UTV, and a caller contribution was quite interesting. That he said that he is also from a plastic waste recycling association, and if we shut down, their business is also collapsed because the recycled plastic we buy and use them. So if we stop work, automatically
the ripple effect.
They also so, and we have over 92% of industries in Ghana all depend on plastic packaging in anything whatsoever at all. I mean, your cocoa in the morning, or your banku in the afternoon, or your gari that you go to the market to buy, everything is packed in. In fact, we used to have a lot of corrugated cartons packaging, but a lot more of the companies are discarding and going for shrink wrapping with plastics. So we are very conscious that if we stop, if we shut down, the cascading effects will be very, very severe. So we are hoping that 1 week is such a long time.
You staged the press conference on Monday.
It was on Wednesday.
What is the ultimatum that you have given to government to
so by Wednesday next week, all we are asking is that just get back to us, engage us, and then we...
Are you not asking for government to tell the GRA to hold on with the harassment in courts? I mean,
definitely.
Is that not part of the...
See, if GRA was not harassing us, we wouldn't take the stand. We would have waited, whether it is a month or 2 or 3.
So when the minister reverts.
Exactly. And it's not going to be just one day
engagement. To
it will take a while. And the 10% I told you earlier on has a footnote that states the usage of the money. But this 5% you want to collect, you say it is a consumer tax. So for the consumer littering the environment with the plastic, it's a punishment for the consumer. But you are still collecting the money, and it's a pure government revenue. That is not fair. It is not fair to the consumer. If it's not fair to the consumer, it's not fair to Ghana.
Well, if you're just tuning in, of course, we've been speaking to the president of the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association, and what he's been saying in essence is that his outfit is not happy with a move by government to impose a 5% excise tax on their activities. They feel that the tax component is not coming at an appropriate time, given the fact that, first of all, cost of production is already high, the exchange rate is not extreme, it's not particularly favorable, and a multiplicity of other factors. That is why they have given government a 1-week ultimatum from Wednesday that if they do not hear, perhaps they may want to take further action. Now, I'm interested. What is the nature of the action that you will take if government does not revert between the duration that you have given?
Most of our members in Ghana today, we have about 166 plastic companies. Right. But out of these, you probably say close to 40 commands about 70% of the basic requirements. Most of them would even want an indefinite shutdown because it will cost us a lot of money to shut down even for 1 day.
Mr. Roger, hold on. I want to understand you seem to be a very big association. I want to understand the should I say constituents, I don't want to say variables, but the units. I mean, the blocks that make up the association is clearly very wide, but if you can take us through the respective members, blocks, if you like.
It's not quite straight for me.
Okay,
but
I'm saying, so it's an association.
Correct.
Ghana Plastic Manufacturers. So generally, what is the membership comprised of? Basically, that's what I'm saying. So
in total, it's about 166 companies, plastic companies in Ghana operating.
Okay.
And then we have over 100 who are current members. The remaining ones are very small scale companies. And I'm saying that even out of the 100, about 40 of them command about 70% of the total needs, packaging needs when it comes to plastic. So you take a company like Syntex or Mini Plus or KGM. I mean, they really command the market share. Exactly. So you see, it is sad that government doesn't recognize the plastic industry as one of the strong pillars in Ghana's economy. Take, for example, every year in duties, import duties that we pay on our raw materials is about 10.53 billion Ghana cedis. That goes as a revenue to government.
That's a lot of money.
That's a hell of money. A real heaven of money. If you take Electricity Company of Ghana, the plastic industry is probably one of their, if not the best, customer. Because every month, this is not a year, every single month, we pay at least 146 million Ghana cedis.
Well, other companies also pay tariffs. I mean, don't other companies also pay? So.
Yeah, but a small group of about 100 companies paying
contributing
146
to
million.
Their total revenue pool. Yeah,
yes.
that's.
I mean, one company alone pays 12 million Ghana cedis in electricity bill a month. And we are paying commercial rates. So if we shut down today, it affects ECG. We shut down, it affects Ghana Water Company as well. When we shut down, even the transport sector, the haulage sector will be affected. So we are quite an important economic pillar.
That's
when it comes to Ghana's economy.
I mean, want to say that maybe you are not as pronounced or you are not as popular. People do not, advert their minds to your operations and your activities. But really, if anybody took the time to assess your routines and how you contribute, the person, that individual, clearly will give you your flowers. But
if you get to know how much we pay as workers' contribution for SNIT, you know, SNIT contribution, you have the worker and then the company,
the employer.
How much we pay for over 30,000 workers? It is not a joke.
It is clearly not a joke, and those points are lucid. If you ask me, they are very striking points that every stakeholder, particularly the Ministry of Finance and government at large, must take into active consideration. But I want to take a breather here. When we come back, we'll delve into the closing and best of this afternoon's conversation. My name is 𝗟𝗩𝗘. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Praise God, praise God. Christ in tea, you respond, yeah, addition. I'm excited to announce to you, friends in the Lord, are you seeking for a platform where you can pray? Open baby up a soul bomb pie. Now nyami edi in kitahon. Bibi so. And I'm na the same kum. And you're coming home. Let's go into the prayer room on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. to meet seasoned ministers of God that God has raised to impact your life. Remember, John Wesley said, I have too much to do, therefore I spend several hours in prayer in able to do it. That is why we are calling upon you. Meet myself, Reverend Hosea Osei, and the Evangelism Missionary Renewal Directorate as we lead you into the prayer room where we encounter Christ. And I believe your life will never be the same. Call your friends, your loved ones, every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. where we will encounter Christ. God bless you. See you on our screens on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. God bless you.
Don't come yo, don't come me. Ghana for Methodist Asafoma. WTV 𝗟𝗓𝗡 5 years. Hooray! Na 𝗟𝗓𝗡 fidida. WTV AD&T. Or yet don't come me promo. And say, so we are Methodist Asafoma. Now we business. And adwuma ko bia wo pese obo ho dawura. WTV say, ye ba betwa adwuma ko no anaso wadwaton de no. Ya bo ho dawuro na wotwe mienu 2 weeks at the amount 500 Ghana cedis per. Ana wo betua. We eye kwan a WTV efa so e de ada wase say, what turn the chi ama drum pempenso a ene wadru. Yanunti, Methodist Asafuma, Muaku, Amopesa Mubo Deuru, Muntutumrika, Namumra, Fred WTV, Nani Penfoning Como, Emfa Don't Come Promo 0593 110733 and now WhatsApp 0256 253461. WTV, reaching out to the world.
You're going. All right, we've gotten to the closing embers of this afternoon's conversation, and like we always do, when we get to the latter stages of our discussions, we attempt to delve into the solutions of the issues that previously we had been examining. And this afternoon, I'm not sure would be an exception. But except that, I don't think Mr. 𝗟𝗑𝐲𝗓 would have any solutions at this point. The blood of the association is boiling. It's red hot. All they are asking government is to, as it were, come to the discussion table. Let us iron out all the outstanding issues, and effectively, let's scrap the 5%. But I want us to come to, I just want to you to look at this scenario. Now, at the time the e-levy was proposed, I mean, the e-levy that many described as obnoxious, initially, I don't think it was, what is it even now? I think, is it 1.5%? I think initially it was 1.75 or so.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think after the conversations around it, it was beaten down to something lower. If government says that, okay, we're imposing 5%, but you are even saying that operationally it is 7%. Okay, but if government says that, look, I've heard your concerns, I want to heed your grievances, I'm bringing it to, let's say, 3%. Is it in any way going to change or alter your stance on that issue?
That is 3. Anything above 1 is on the high side.
But the country needs money. I mean, clearly the country is not in a good economic shape. If government, so let's assume that government says, okay, I can't go below 3. Let's work with that hypothesis. You insist that it shouldn't be anything above 1. The government says, look, I'm not going below 3%. What is going to happen?
You know what? The best approach will be that we go anything below 1%, and then we put it on the raw material at the port of entry. If we did say that we will rather charge at the local level, government will lose. The leakages will be very, very high. Again, government should come and tell us, is the money going to serve as government revenue, or is it going to serve the purpose of plastic pollution? We are already recycling. We have all the initiatives, which is 100% private sector led, because government has failed us. And we see the menace. And for our corporate aims, we cannot just sit back, because we've paid all our corporate taxes, whatever taxes that we need to pay, we are paying. We take that responsibility. So we are doing a lot already. It is just for government to make sure that if this 5% is indeed for plastic waste recycling and management, then there should be a footnote to go with that. Anything other than that, we will resist at that.
Do I get the impression clearly that you're asking for maybe the component to be defrayed elsewhere, probably at the port? Is that effectively the argument you're making?
That should be the
but
best.
If that's the case, would it not eventually hurt you? Ultimately,
no,
or you think that the impact at that level will be comparatively less?
To be frank with you, we, in our assumptions, are looking at 0.5% on the raw materials at the port of entry. We don't need to bother ourselves with all the calculations with our invoicing. And then government would receive that revenue.
The 0.5 at the ports?
Yeah, I said 0.4.
0.4.
0.4%.
Oh, I thought 5. I think I had 5, or I mean, okay,
0.4.
0.4. Right, that's okay.
Yes. If you know how many tons of raw materials that we bring in, we're currently doing about 2.8 million metric tons of raw materials. A raw material, a ton, it's now between $1,200 and $1,300 per metric ton. So if you multiply 0.4 by 1,200, multiply by 2.8 million. If you were doing that, how much would you get? It will come with a lot of money. I think the leakages in our tax system is so high. Our compliance rate is so low because it's so high. So it is always the few of us who, for very good reason, cannot do the evasion. So that is where government and GRA is always coming to us. Do you know that we have free zone enclave? So we have some free zone companies producing plastics. They are bringing the raw materials. If I bring, me as a non-free zone, I bring a 20-footer container of raw materials, I pay at least 106,000 in duties. For you, Parkwesi, if you're a free zoner, you bring the same material, you pay nothing. The idea is that you go and manufacture, you export 70% of your produce, 30% you sell in Ghana. And then when you're ready to sell the 30%, then you pay the applicable duties. We have companies who bring, free zone companies who bring this materials. They don't produce, then they sell, they smuggle it to the local market and then sell. And government is losing over 265 million a year.
So if all these leakages were sealed, I mean, clearly we don't need. Here. Right.
So if the compliance rate is good, in fact, if we even get 60%, we should be better off. Our compliance rate is so low. It's way below average. So government doesn't get the needed revenue. And because government is also partly to be blamed, maybe fully to be blamed, not partly, because the mechanisms are not right.
Mr. Botwe, your final words. Perhaps you can use this opportunity to emphasize your call to government again and stress the need for the state to address your concerns.
We will also have a cost should we shut down. And the ripple effect will be enormous. It will go far, wide, and deep. And therefore, we think we should not get to that stage. Let's also remind ourselves that if this action takes place, the loss of jobs will be very, very, very high. We are not in any haste.
Sorry to cut you, but normally it is said that when you are going to the negotiation table, you don't go with any staunch or decided position already. But even here, sitting here, observing your association, you seem to have decided already. You seem to have, as it were, made up your mind. You are not reneging on where you stand, and you are very solidified in your position. Is that not, I don't want to say hostile, but is that not hostile to government? I'm looking at it from the government. I mean, if I were the finance minister.
Yes. Parkwesi, before the 5%, this new tax, we are already running losses. But for any business, there is always some time to recover, to make loss and then to recover. So we keep on running. But then, if we really look at the situation as it is, we shouldn't have even waited for this long. Yeah, this long. We could have, like I said, already some companies have relocated. Others are also following suit. I know of some who are diversing into trading, into commerce. So whatever I'm producing, I just bring it from China. I don't have any headaches. I pay my duties and then I'm cleared. So we want government to engage us. And it is very, very wrong. Plastics are highly technical. We have all these technocrats sitting in the ministry formulating these policies without consulting us. I think going forward, government should engage us so that we'll be able to give government the best options that will help to make Ghana strong as it should.
So you may want to continue with the call you were making. I interjected, but you may want to continue with your final call. So for us, we are patiently waiting for the minister or government to engage us. For as long as GRA will stop the harassment, it is most likely that we could just hold on with a shutdown. If come Wednesday, which is supposed to be the deadline, we didn't hear from the minister, but GRA is not harassing us, we'll keep on working until the minister attends to us, and then we'll find an amicable settlement. It looks like it's the harassment from the GRA that is provoking you to take the action.
Exactly.
So if for 1 year or if for the next 3 months the GRA is not at your door making any demands, the issue is going to die down. Is that the impression?
It wouldn't die down. We would still be consistent with our follow-ups with government to make sure that this issue is. We already have a paper, a proposition on. We don't reject an excise tax outright, no. But in its current form, it's very much obnoxious.
Right.
So we have a paper on it. If government sits with us, we'll work it through with them so that we can come back and then start something.
All right. That point is well made. So you've been hearing and listening to, watching, of course, the president of the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association, and his point is lucid and clear. He insists strongly that his outfit is not interested in the proposed 5% excise tax that government intends to slap on producers in the sector. And he says that, look, government, you have up to next week, Wednesday. If the GRA, of course, continues to make demands, we will have no option than to shut down. We are grateful that we're able to have you here this afternoon, and we are hoping that all your concerns would be addressed in due time. On that note, we call it a wrap. The first half of the year has actually come to an end. Of course, we began in January. We saw March, April, May, June has finally gravitated to a halt. And next week, when we meet, I'm sure we would have entered into the second half of the year and effectively the month of July. For all of you who've been watching Wesleyan Television, we're grateful for your time and your patronage, especially on this particular platform. And of course, we have to state that, as always, this show is brought to you by the Christian Service University, the university of choice. 024-6275-375. In case you want to reach out to them, that's the number for you to call. My name is 𝗟𝗚𝗩𝗘, and by the special grace of God, I'm sure we'll meet again in the month of July. Do have a pleasant weekend, and cheers to all of you. Bye-bye.